We are now less than 3 weeks away from the highly anticipated showdown set to take place in Dallas on August 5th between Jake Paul and the pay-per-view superstar Nate Diaz. This thrilling bout is scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds. Both fighters have been actively sharing their training footage in progress on social media platforms, fueling excitement among their fans. Jake Paul is making a comeback to the ring after his first professional loss against Tommy Fury, the brother of the WBC heavyweight champion of the world Tyson Fury. In a closely contested match, Paul lost to Tommy on points. For Nate Diaz, this fight marks his boxing debut, although he boasts an impressive record as a UFC veteran with over 30 pro MMA fights. Diaz's last victory came in September of 2022, when he secured a triumph via guillotine choke on Tony Ferguson. While Diaz may be relatively new to professional boxing, his skills in the squared circle are highly regarded by both former opponents and training partners. Him and his brother Nick, a legend in the world of mixed martial arts, were sparring partners for former undefeated world champion Andre Ward. Ward has showered them with compliments in various interviews, particularly on the Joe Rogan Experience, highlighting Nate's unorthodox style and the challenge he presents.
Nate, man, and the volume and having to deal with the awkwardness and the height and the reach, and that got me ready for Chad Dawson.
Recently, the former boxing champion appeared on the MMA Hour show and specifically spoke about the upcoming Nate vs. Jake fight, expressing his intention to support Diaz in his preparation.
Jake is fighting, your old pal, your old sparring partner, Nate. Is he calling you up to maybe, return the favor to help him prepare for his pro boxing debut? Any contact with Nathan?
I mean, not to go too deep into it, but he's reached out and we're going to connect at a certain point.
Wow.
So if he can take that right hand from Jake Paul, it's going to be a tougher fight than people realize, man, because Nate's going to keep coming. Nate a little bit better because he was, he's longer and more awkward, and he made me work, and it just doesn't, it doesn't make sense to people, but he's been some of my best left-handed southpaw work throughout my career.
In addition to this, a former opponent of Nate, Jorge Masvidal, spoke about the fight on George Janko's podcast. Masvidal praised Jake Paul's boxing improvements over time, but also warned that Diaz is always dangerous, particularly when he gets into his rhythm and reads his opponents well.
Yeah, Jake out of the pack, I think, is definitely his improvements from when I first saw him to right now. His improvements are through the roof, and now we're gonna get a great test. I think this is a good test for him to see where he's really at. Cardio wise, everything wise. Nate has so much experience, but he's also catching Nate on the way downside. So I think I could see him wearing down Jake after the second, third round, getting his timing in there, and really starting to make it like a dogfight. And then it's once Nate gets your timing and his engine's already going, he's a fucking problem, bro. And especially in boxing, the people are not gonna be able to take him down and wrap him up. He might be a fucking nightmare, so Jake has to be prepared to fucking stick and move.
Nate Diaz has been sharing some new training footage from California, showcasing his hard work and dedication as he prepares alongside his team for the upcoming bouts. Meanwhile, Jake Paul remains active on social media, providing glimpses of his intense heavy bag workouts and running sessions. Recently, Astrid Wett made waves in the influencer boxing community by calling out KSI and Misfits, and now she's taken her ambitions even further by creating her own promotion. In a recent video posted on her YouTube channel, Astrid explained the exciting details of her upcoming fight with Alexia Grace. Before diving into the specifics, Astrid didn't hold back in expressing her thoughts on the female influencer boxing scene, criticizing it as dull and uninspiring. However, she did give credit to her opponent, acknowledging Alexia as one of the few women capable of effectively promoting a fight.
The female influencer boxing scene has major issues. It's so boring. Find another female, bar me and potentially Elle Brooke, who promotes their fights well. There isn't any, which is why it's so difficult. Fair play to Alexia, to be honest. Although she is really annoying and that voice is just unbearable, she's actually helped make this fight interesting.
To her surprise, despite the social media buzz generated by the beef, Misfits Boxing showed no interest in arranging the match between her and Alexia, even though their story garnered over 100 million views online.
So, why isn't this fight on Misfits? Well, Mams Taylor and KSI, you tell me. The beef with me and Alexia has been seen over 100 million times on socials. Where is there a female fight right now with the same amount of traction?
Both fighters will not be paid for this event and will share the costs of organizing the fight equally, as they have yet to secure a sponsor. The showdown is scheduled to take place in London on July 29th, and it will be streamed for free on Astrid's YouTube channel. Additionally, the fight week will include open training sessions, press conferences, face-offs and weigh-ins.
And it's a full fight week. So on Wednesday, the 26th of July at 7 p.m, you'll be able to watch a live open workout from both me and Alexia. On Thursday, the 27th of July at 7 p.m, this is when you get the press conference. Me and Alexia will sit down and answer all of your questions from the fans live. On Friday, the 28th of July at 7 p.m, this is when you get our weigh-in.
Astrid makes a bold promise. She wants to knock out Alexia so bad that she'll need to be escorted out of the arena in an ambulance.
The fight is 4 2-minute rounds, 12-ounce gloves, and no head guards. I'm gonna make sure this girl goes home in an ambulance, I'm telling you.
Misfits Boxing is gearing up for an exciting event, X Series 008, set to take place on July 22nd in Nashville. The organizers have prepared a unique and original concept to captivate the audience interest. The highlight of the main card will be a thrilling survivor tag match featuring 4 influencers: Nicola Mayo, B-Dave, Swarms and Ryan Johnston. Misfits is renowned for bringing such innovative ideas to the ring, from mystery opponents to one fighter facing 2 opponents in a single night, and even tag team boxing. In this intriguing survivor tag format, only one man will be left standing at the end. Though it's a 4-man fight, only 2 fighters will be allowed in the ring simultaneously. The order of participants in the first fight will be determined by a social media poll, adding an element of unpredictability to the proceedings. The rules state that the fighters can tag in and out of action freely, and they cannot refuse to be tagged by their opponent. The bout will consist of 4 intense 3-minute rounds, with judges scoring the match in case some fighters are not able to secure a finish. Any knockdown will eliminate the fighter who hits the canvas. Recently, Nicola Mayo, B-Dave, Swarms and Ryan Johnson engaged in an online meeting, setting the stage for some entertaining face-offs. The atmosphere was filled with trolling and laughter, with particular focus on teasing Ryan Johnston. From the discussion, it appears Swarms and Ryan are the favorite choices to be voted as the first fighters to step into the ring. Swarms was eager to be chosen as the first combatant, while Ryan believes he'll slip him early in the fight.
Night, bro, but honestly think the first one is going to sleep is Swarms, bro. Like, whether it's from me, whether it's from Nick, whether it's from B-Dave, but he's the first one going to like yeah.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna show you I'm a madman. I don't do this talking on the
Madman
internet.
coming
bro.
out, the boogeyman.
Bro, you can have this now. I'll see you in Nashville, bro. I will definitely see you, bro. Watch. I want you to have the same energy that's in your crystal ball when you see my face.
Oh yeah.
The rest of the main card is Brandon Herrera vs Action Man, Alan Belcher vs Hassim Rahman Jr., Anthony Taylor vs Paul Bamba, and a tag team match between Dean the Great with a mystery teammate vs YPG. The semi-finals tournament organized by Kingpin did not disappoint in the eyes of the public. The fans were happy with the fights, and the crowd in the arena made sure the atmosphere was on point. The fight card was opened by Ben Williams and Black Paddy. Williams finished the fight via TKO before the first minute mark. It was a clear mismatch, and the referee stopped the bout before it got ugly. In the second fight, Golden Boys won via unanimous decision, beating Declan Kenna. In the third bout, Whitney Jones fought Amber O'Dawn, decisively beating her on the scorecards. The fourth fight was a slugfest from the beginning till the last bell. Daniella HEMSLEY fought Ola or Miss Danielka from Poland and beat her via unanimous decision. Both girls did not care much about defense, focusing on inflicting damage on the opponent. In the end, the judges decided Daniella landed the cleaner punches and deserved the win. But the main moment in this rivalry happened not during the fight but after the decision. Daniella, filled with joy, decided to take off her sports bra and show her breasts to the arena. Some of the fans were delighted with the view, while others were disgusted, reminding that a big part of the audience were children. Some of the female fighters that fought on the card create content intended for adults. The world's biggest boxing promoter, Eddie Hearn, was disappointed with her behavior and spoke on the fact that the world needs good role models.
My opinion is I hate it. I hate it. We've worked so hard for women in boxing to be respected for their ability, for their merits, for their hard work. The problem today is you want kids to have great role models.
Daniella was interviewed after the fact, and she stated that she has no regrets about what she did.
Obviously, yeah, a lot of the talk here is about the celebration. What was kind of going through your mind? I was overexcited, proud, and you know, why not?
I know you're only just after coming out of the ring, but has anyone talked to you about, like, could there be a fine or could there be something? Because obviously we're live on the zone, and I'm sure they're not over the moon with it.
No. Not that I know of. I've literally just come out of the ring, so.
Cian Cowley beat Conor Tierney in the following fight on the full distance, with the judges having no problem scoring the bout. In the women's semi-finals, Julie Polka imposed her will on Elle Brooke and beat her decisively. The size difference was too much for the British content creator. The Brazilian star was heavily supported by her fans in the arena. Second fight of the female semi-finals was a similar story as the first one. Barbie, thanks to her size, was able to comfortably beat Emily Brooke and secure a decision win. Now Julie Polka will face Barbie in the final of the tournament. Elle Brooke was supposed to fight her sister Emily in the losers match, but informed on her socials she is not going to do so. In the last fight before the men's semi-finals, Kiefer Crosby beat Aaron Chalmers on full distance. In the first fight of the men's semi-finals and one of the most hyped bouts on the card, Anderson Gibb took on Face Jarvis. Both men were exchanging shots on social media before the fight and got into heated arguments during the face-offs and press conference.
This guy raised a punching bag. I'm gonna fire him!
I'm just gonna absorb everything you have.
Fraser, to be screaming. Yes, Avenger! Jarvis stinks.
I can't wait to humble you.
I'm excited about that. Come on!
They started out even in the first two rounds, but as the time went by, Gibb started to gain advantage, land more shots, press forward and overwhelm Jarvis with his activity. Jarvis tried to land big shots but couldn't find Gibb with his fists. The judges gave Anderson the win via unanimous decision. The last fight of the night and the main event was the clash of King Kenny and Whindersson Nunes. Both fighters were coming off impressive wins in the quarterfinals of the tournament. King Kenny TKO'd my mate Nate, and Nunes finished Polish rapper and freak fighter Filipek. They were perceived as equal rivals before the fight, but it quickly turned out that Kenny had the edge and showed a beautiful display of skills, getting the better of Nunes. Kenny even got a knockdown in the second round before winning the fight via unanimous decision. In certain moments, Kenny was toying with Whindersson, repeatedly throwing uppercuts between the guard. Some commentators even called this performance the best in influencer boxing history. Kenny will now face Anderson Gibb in the final of the tournament. The date and location were not yet announced. If you want to stay up to date with the news from the world of freak fights and celebrity fights, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.